But and I thought, I don't know how I got this in my head, but I thought, well, maybe this is me from the future and has travelled back in time. Now this is where it gets weird.
Okay.
I tested him and I just outright said, "Is your name Howard?" And it fucking was.
No way.
Yeah. He said, "Yes." How did you know that? And
Really?
I got freaked out a little bit because in my head the memory now is that it's me.
Of course, yeah.
I've got a memory from my 10-year-old point of view, looking at me, age 28.
Of course, yeah.
And my parents were freaked out, my sister was freaked out. How did you know? How did you know? I just knew. But this is for a moment I thought, this is real. And one of the things he said to me, because he was talking about all the places he'd been, and he'd just come from Egypt.
Okay.
And he said to me, he looked down at me and said, "Whatever you do, kid, don't go to Cairo." And so since that day, I've always thought, I'm never going to Cairo. I'm never. That's a message from the future.
Back to the future.
Yeah. Of course, it was purely coincidence that his name was Howard. And he was just said, "Don't go to Cairo, you'll get sold." Or something. I remember once we were on roads, a woman tried to buy me. I was so blonde. I had white blonde hair till I was 16. And a woman tried to buy me. "How much for a blonde boy?" I think my dad actually considered it.
Yeah.
But that was just such I mean, that sort of was the highlight of the whole thing, meeting myself in the future. Thinking back, he was actually older than I would be now, so I've still got time.
So it could still be you.
Yeah. Maybe if this goes well, maybe we'll spend some money. If we get a sponsor, we'll buy a DeLorean and we'll hit 88.
Nice.
But also back at the hotel, there's this stand-up comedian who sometimes come on. And I've never really seen a stand-up before. I didn't really understand. Yeah, to me, it's just like a clown without makeup.
Yeah.
But
some guy talking.
Some guy talking, yeah, and he'd only ever do jokes about Malta, which is sort of limiting, really. Because he'd say things like, he'd treat Malta like he'd treat it like a metropolis. So all the things that the jokes that you'd hear in any other city, he was talking about the tiny island of Malta, like you'd say, you know, when you're driving for hours and hours and hours. And I thought, doesn't it take about 20 minutes to cross this entire island? Just odd. But I was a bit fascinated by it. I sat and I listened to this entire stand-up routine. Loved it. Even though I really, really needed the toilet. And I sat on the edge of the pool squirming, listening to this guy talk. Really liked it. So much so that when I was actually going back up to my room in the lift, I pooed myself. 10 years old. And it was so bad that I couldn't just handle it myself. It wasn't like, oh, a bit embarrassed. Take my trousers off, give them a wash. No, I cried and banged on my mum's roof. No, you have to help me. She thought I was being murdered. But no, I pooed myself. So again, just these horrible things in my head. But one of the biggest things, probably the reason why it was so much fun as a holiday, was because I made a friend. Okay. It's a great way to make a holiday good, is to make a holiday friend. And he was a year older than me, older man. His name was Glenn, and he was from London. He was a proper Cockney. He was like, "Oh, I like it, call me Howard." I was like, "No, it's Howard." Oh, Howard. And Howard. And I think I started calling myself Howard. But we did great things together. We had so much fun. We basically went exploring. We'd go into the basement of the hotel. It's a big, massive hotel. We'd sort of explore the basement, explore the attic. Went up onto the roof of the hotel. We had those parachute men.
Oh, of course,
We locked about 13 stories high, locking them off. It was
I in my shop.
Nice plug. But we went paragliding as well. You know, expensive things that the parents bought us. We'd do together. We rented canoes and we explored some caves. Which probably our lives were in danger at that point.
Yeah, probably.
It was fun. And we had really good fun. We also stole a mop from a cleaner's card that was left in the corridor. Just nicked them off. We had that. I don't know what we did with it. Again, I wasn't a naughty boy. I just like, "Oh, are they?" I don't know. I think we threw it in the sea from off the cliff. I don't know why. It's sort of javelin thing. We had no idea why I did this. And it was also the holiday when my parents bought me a present. Wow. Because when you're on holiday, European and foreign toys are always more dangerous. Like, they don't have that British standard safety thing, which is a shame, really. And they bought me a crossbow. Basically, you think, oh, a toy crossbow. No, it was a crossbow. It didn't shoot bolts, like shot bolts. It shot hardened rubber suction cups. Okay. But they were essentially a suction cup on the front of a bolt. So it was really, really powerful. It shot them with great velocity. Yeah. It was one of those. I think it must have been my dad that bought me that. Yeah. Because my dad had this sort of habit of sort of buying me dangerous things or renting me completely unsuitable films from the video shop. Because I've just sort of odd relationship with my dad at times. He reminds me a lot of Homer Simpson. Okay. Like he's an Aries as well. If you're into a sort of astrology, like my wife's now made me. So he's got that kind of detachment from reality. He doesn't think things through. He doesn't think, is this appropriate? All he thinks is, this is fun. So he bought me a fucking crossbow. So I'm going around the hotel shooting people. And I think the hotel was built in the 70s, so it was all black marble, polished marble, which a suction cup sticks to really well. So I'm doing target practice, sticking it to the wall, accidentally shot another German boy in the face. And And I mean badly in the
Wow.
face, like there was a welt on his cheek.
Ooh.
Different German boy. I wasn't hunting the German, I must say. So I shot him in the face. Obviously really, really hurt him.
Yeah.
Felt terrible instantly. I didn't mean to do that, and I stand by that. I honestly did not mean to do that. He went nuts. He was probably a couple of years older than me. He started screaming at me in German. Oh, nice enough. I'm getting racist now.
Yeah,
German.
yeah.
Screaming at me in German. I sort of panicked, threw the crossbow away. My mum walked by, because she hadn't known that I just shot him in the face. All she saw was a German lad, bigger than me, screaming, bearing down on me.
Nice.
And she lost it as well, and started to tell him off. But the image that was so funny is my mum knew that he was foreign.
Yeah.
So she thought, well, I'll scream it in English. No good, of course, not when we're abroad. We talk, look, you, where is
We
taxi?
speak loud and simple.
My mum decided not to do that, so she started berating him without words. So she wiped her finger. She shook her hands. She pulled a stern face and yanked me away. I remember, as she's pulling me away, I said to her, but hang on, Mum, why didn't you sort of talk to him? Because I knew, my mum lived in Germany for 3 years in the 70s, and I knew she speaks fluent German. And I said, well, why didn't you speak German to a boy who was obviously German? And she's like, I'm too angry to speak German. And of all the languages to talk when you're angry, German's the best.
one, isn't it?
I'm just wondering if Hitler ever had that same problem. I'm too angry to talk to you about the Jews tonight. It really nosed me off. Instead, I would talk to you in the language of the Teletubbies. But which is bizarre, really. But because with this crossbow, I really wanted to take it home, and it had a bit of trouble getting it through customs because it was a fucking crossbow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Honestly, but this is sort of a sign of those times, like you were talking about those halcyon days.
Yeah, of course,
with
yeah.
people. It's exactly the same in customs. These days, if you try and get on a plane with a crossbow, you'll be taken to a little room.
Yeah,
You'll
of course,
be arrested by the CIA.
On the spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't even get on a plane and hold your hand in the shape of a gun these
Yeah.
days.
You're not even allowed to print with a gun on a t-shirt.
No, not at all, no. But the Maltese officials back in the early 90s, they took one look at the crossbow, they loaded it, put the bolt on, shot the floor, and went, oh, you better not play with this on the plane. Off you go!
Brilliant.
Off you go.
Oh,
I really would, because I remember once, a year before, I think we were going to Cyprus, I took lots of toys with me. One of the toys I took was a replica gun, a pistol, metal cap gun,
Okay.
and a metal grenade.
Ooh.
Put them in my bag, went through the X-ray machine, no problem! No problem at all. These days, though, because those are the days when you could sort of sit on a plane and the pilot's cockpit door would be wide open.
Yeah.
You could look down and see out the front of the plane.
They'd wave at you.
Yeah, or they'd have a curtain.
Yeah.
And they'd do tricks to the cockpit.
Of course, yeah.
These days, though, there's a Gatling cannon, isn't
That's
there?
right,
Like,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you go near the cockpit, you will be shot.
Yeah.
It's shoot first, serve drinks later.
There's a man in an ill-fitting jacket sitting in the front row waiting to attack anyone who comes near.
It's, but, yeah, there's also cabin crew these days are all ninjas, aren't they? I mean, talk about Queen Assassin.
Yeah.
Talk about easy
Ninja
jet, they
cabin
can
crew.
snap your neck.
Wow.
But yeah, that was been my favourite holiday. But
Nice.
to be truly honest with you, I think my true favourite family holiday was when I was 16, and it was determined that I was now old enough not to have to go on family holidays.
Me too.
I fucking didn't.
Me too.
Best 2 weeks of my life.
Oh,
My
yes.
parents were way up abroad, they went on a cruise, left me at home with money.
Perfect.
It's the best holiday ever.
Yeah, definitely. I think I had one at 17, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's perfect. In fact, I seem to recall the best family holiday. They went away, I stayed at home. I ended up going to London with my friend Matty to stay with his gran. And we just went, we were bored, we had nothing to do. I'd taken a week off in the summer. We were both working at McDonald's at the time. I took a week off and we just jumped in a car, drove and stayed at his gran's, went into London every day, came back. And then I spent the next week, I think, while my parents were away, with all the curtains closed in the house, wandering around waving the Star Wars lightsaber that I just bought at 17.
That's cool, I'll do that now.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. I was just wandering around doing that and thinking, damn, I must stop doing this when Mum gets home. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
But,
Get all the lightsaber waving you can.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And to be fair, yeah, that does still happen occasionally, but
I'm sure it does, yeah.
only when there's nobody in.
Yeah, whatever. I can imagine Caroline, all Princess Leia up.
Oh yeah, you should
Those
love that.
Chelsea buns on her ears.
No, they wouldn't have made it to the ears.
No.
They'd have been well eaten in my house. But,
Episode of Star Wars I don't remember.
no. Oh, cake.
Episode 3, cake.
Yeah.